Hello, my Facebook and YouTube Crystal Loves Texas podcast family. I wasn't here last week. I was actually on vacation. I actually took a vacation and I went to visit my niece in Kansas. Yeah, her name's not Dorothy. Her name is Tony, but she lives in Kansas. So we went to visit her and we had a good time. I had not been on a vacation in about 2 years. So I deserved it. I deserved it. But listen, I'm so happy to be with you today because I hope Michelle Williams is watching. Union leader Michelle Williams. And let me tell you why. We got a nice spicy show in here today because people, for the most part, are on all different sides of the fence for this. If the fence were round, people would be standing all around it. So it was no such thing as a side of the fence. I have got Mr. Henry Sims in here. He's going to introduce himself. But most of you, when you see him and you recognize him, a lot of people recognize him. He goes by Coach Sims. So, Coach Sims, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and tell us about the new project that we're going to be seeing in the next few days?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for having me. You asked me on the first ring. As far as me coming to your show.
Yeah.
And I want to commend you on the job that you're doing. Just getting your platform, using your platform to spread the word. So I want to commend you on that.
Thank you so much.
Right now, we're launching 180 Degrees, which is a blended learning platform. You talked about the fence being round. Well, we want to provide an alternative to education. I come from education.
Okay.
My family, mother, sister. Sister's currently a principal in education, so I come from education. I know what education looks like, what it looked like. And right now we're at 180 Degrees and trying to see if we can prepare for what educating is going to look like.
Okay. Now, when you say a blended learning platform, I know that here in Houston, I've heard of some elite blended learning platforms. And before we started the podcast, we talked about IMG in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about a similar program in Dallas, a similar one in Austin. In Austin. So tell us a little bit about what 180 Degree Academy will look like.
So when we talk about 180 degrees, we look at where you're going and where you come from.
Right.
360, you're in the same spot.
Exactly.
But 180, you can look backwards. So we want to take the traditional education.
Okay.
Where we have a face-to-face teacher. And we also have the component where we're looking forward, where the digital learning is coming into effect. So that's what we call it our blended learning platform.
Okay.
We're going to take where you are. We're going to meet the students where they are, as far as taking where they are from a learning capacity and using that to gauge them to see where we need to take them.
Okay.
You and I are in the same classroom. You may be a little bit more advanced than I was. My lack of knowledge or just attention span may slow the class down, right?
Okay,
and
yes.
That may slow you down.
Right.
But if you have the specialized learning platform, which we do at 180 degrees,
right.
We can stay on the same subject, but you can continue to move fast. It's not a self-paced, all right? But it's a learning platform that allows you to get your lesson and also me get my lesson. We all still stay on the same path.
Now, I'm a classroom teacher, Coach Sims, and I'm going to be the devil's advocate for a minute because I think that everyone on a certain level can understand the benefit of AI in learning.
Okay.
That's just because there is a great benefit to AI in learning and to digital platforms.
Right.
But no classroom teacher feels that a digital platform should replace a classroom teacher. Even if the classroom teacher is facilitating the learning and information can be coming from a classroom teacher as well as a digital platform. Are you saying that with 180 Degree Academy that there will not be classroom teachers present?
No. We're not replacing the teacher.
Okay,
We're adding another resource to that teacher.
okay,
And not only to the teacher, but to the student as well.
okay,
So the AI, the digital piece is only an added tool, right?
okay,
So in our classroom setting, we do have a facilitator. We do have a teacher of record, which is important
okay,
to make sure we are an accredited program. So this program has been accredited. So we're a nationally recognized school. I didn't get to tell you that part.
okay,
Right? So
yeah,
that's why we say the blended learning platform. So
Okay.
we do have a teacher giving the lesson, right?
Okay.
The AI piece only allows the student the resources that he may need to help them with that learning.
to dig deeper.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, what was interesting to me, and you know,
Mhm.
I am, I have never been a proponent of the voucher system.
Okay.
And that was the first thing I asked you. I said, now, Coach Sims, when you come in here, are we going to be talking about the voucher system? Are you coming on my podcast to tell me the benefits of the voucher system? And you told me absolutely not. And what was your reasoning? First of all, let's make this clear. 180 Degree Academy is a private school.
Yes.
Okay. And you came from the private school sector.
Came from the private and the charter school sector.
Okay.
So I've seen both
I did
sides.
too, yeah.
I came from both sides.
Okay.
Where you have to be seated to be counted.
Absolutely.
And you have to be counted. In order to be counted, that's how you get your funding.
Correct.
Right? But from this aspect of from the voucher, where the voucher stands, I did my research on the voucher program, and it was more of a political game than academic and educational game for me.
How so?
Right?
And explain that if people are not sure. What were some of the things that you were telling me that some of your parents were saying about when they applied for vouchers? What were they seeing?
A lot of our students that are currently in private school,
Yes.
they may have an opportunity to really excel with the voucher.
Absolutely.
Right? But we don't want to take the funding from people like you, my
Yeah.
sister,
Right.
and other ISD employees
Right.
in our inner city schools. We're not trying to take those funds away.
Right.
Right. And I think the voucher program is designed to take funding away from your ISDs.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want to take money from the community in which we serve.
Okay.
180 Degrees is only an alternative to your academic.
Like any other private school out there.
Yes.
Okay. And now this was interesting. This is what when I look at your website,
Mhm.
and the website is 180degreesacademy.com. So if you want to go online and you want to kind of look at what I'm looking at, basically the first statement that's on here says 180 Degrees Academy is Houston's premier private school for grades 6 through 12, combining rigorous WASC. Tell me what that means.
That's our
Curriculum.
accredited platform.
Okay.
Okay.
Accredited academics, elite athletic training, and intentional character development into one transformative experience.
Right.
And tell me, if I'm a parent right now, and I have got a 13-year-old boy,
Right.
and I'm looking for somewhere to place him that I feel he is going to get the excellent academics.
Mhm.
He happens to be really good in basketball.
Right.
Okay. I am reluctant to push him that way because of the stigma and stereotype that is placed upon many African American young men, as far as that being the only way that they're able to excel. But I know that my son is great at basketball and he's great at academics. Why would 180 Degrees Academy be a place where I want him to consider going?
If you're doing such a great job raising him, we want
Yes.
to complement the things that you're doing. So
Okay.
we're looking at a holistic approach of that young man,
Okay.
all under one roof.
Okay.
If he's that good of an athlete, that means you're paying somebody for training.
Okay.
If he's that good of an academic student, that means he's spending quality time getting his academics. He may have a specialized tutor,
Okay.
right? And from just his background with you, knowing you, that means the character development is in place as well. Him
Okay.
and his maturity as a man, as a young adult,
Right.
we want to make sure he's in an atmosphere with like-minded people.
Okay. Now I see here that it starts at grades 6 through 12. So we're catching those young men at a very crucial time.
Academically and from a sports standpoint.
Okay,
Right?
really?
So academically, we want to make sure that the literacy piece is in place.
Okay.
Academically, because once they get to the 9th to 10th grade, now their career path is taking place.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Yeah.
so right now, one of the major things that we're working on is the critical thinking part of our teenagers these days.
Okay.
Right. With the digital piece, the critical thinking is kind of lacking now. So we want to make sure that we implement those programs to make sure the character development is in place.
Okay.
He also has elite training, because if you're paying for elite training, you're paying for elite training after 4 o'clock. So your day.
Okay. Wait a second. Okay.
Come on.
Now, let me make sure I'm understanding this. What do you mean we're paying for the elite training after? So we're not pulling these kids out at noon and they only get that first 4 hours of academics? How does that go?
We're trying to eliminate parents getting that extra service after hours. When you coming in, when that child comes in from 4 to 8 o'clock at night, you have other obligations that you may have to do. So our schedule goes from 7 a.m.
Okay.
Right, to 12 o'clock is their academic piece. Right? And
Okay, so they got a 5-hour block for
ma'am.
academics only.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right? That lunch period. Then we go to our athletic piece. Monday through
Okay.
Thursday. Right, and that's our agility, speed, agility, strength training. Just depends on the age group, and to our basketball skills and drills. Okay.
Okay.
And then on Fridays is when we do our electives, and that's when we do our character development piece, where we do our financial literacy, have our guest speakers come in, and just do our tours to different local vendors that may be sponsors that may be helping us out as far as doing like internships, future internships for our students.
Okay, I see that you're also, not only are you an elite athletic preparatory, academic and athletic preparatory academy, but also you're a dual enrollment
Yes.
academy.
Yes.
Explain that piece.
So one of the major things we had the gifted and talented program.
Yeah.
We had the Spark program, I guess you would call it.
Okay.
Right now, we want our students. We want to make sure that they maximize their time and
Right.
allow them to get their associates while they're in high school.
Wow.
Their associate credits, so
Yeah.
they can kind of get that jump in those college credits early before they graduate.
And if the entire idea is to train elite athletes,
Mhm.
and you have an elite athlete who's going to graduate high school
Mhm.
also with college credit,
Mhm.
as far as that elite athlete having the possibility of getting a very good scholarship at that point,
Mhm.
it probably doubles at that point.
It doubles that point, and the value of that kid doubles.
Yeah.
And just his high set values as well.
Okay.
Right? So
Right.
we talk about a kid that's 18,
Okay.
getting ready to graduate high school, going to college with college credits, and prepared to play at a high level, because due to our schedule, our basketball schedule, we'll be playing against elite competition, right? Also playing against private schools and different ISD schools as well in the Houston, Dallas, and Louisiana area.
Okay, I guess you can see, and I made sure that it's scrolling really, really slowly across the bottom of that screen. It says, read it for me, Coach Sam.
What it say? Private school to elite young athletes, a blessing or a curse.
Now, because you have seen this, have you always been involved in athletics?
Always.
Okay,
Since birth.
okay. And you are familiar with charter schools,
Mhm.
athletics, as well as private school athletics.
Right.
So you know it from the inside out.
Mhm.
Is this type of an opportunity for young people a blessing or a curse?
It is more of a blessing, right? And this is about how we approach it. And we want
Okay.
to make sure we have a structured program to make sure it is a blessing. The curse comes in when you have the lack of preparation and things are not done with fidelity.
Okay, explain what you mean by that.
Well, if I wasn't accredited and I was taking your son from a St. Pius or St. Thomas, and
Okay,
he was leaving
right,
a rigorous academic program,
right,
coming to me, and I was just giving him a laptop saying, "Hey, this is your assignment." Right?
exactly.
That's the curse piece to me.
Okay,
All right. But no, he's
that will not happen.
No, ma'am. We are
Okay.
an accredited school, right? He will have the rigorous homework because my academic team makes sure that our academics has to succeed our athletics. He can't go touch a basketball and lift a weight to make sure until that assignment is complete, and that's where our facilitators.
So what if a kid, let's say, because I'm not even going to say this is hypothetical. This could very well happen. What if a kid is a great athlete, has great character, but is a kid who struggles in math.
That's great, because now we have that 3 levels of support for that student.
Okay.
Right? You being the teacher of record, deal with that kid, and we have the report that said, hey, Johnny didn't finish that assignment today.
Okay.
Johnny's even struggling in the assignment today. But we have colleges called the adjunct professor.
Okay.
After hours.
Right.
That's available for Johnny to call in at a certain time to get some academic support as well.
Okay. Coach Sims.
Yes, ma'am.
You knew I was going to hit you with some. Okay. Now, okay. Okay. Now I want you to think about this for a minute, because this is something that I see every day. We have got, it sounds fantastic. And no, this is not taking anything away. Let me look over here. This is not taking anything away from public schools. I am a proponent of public schools. I'm a public school teacher. I'm a proponent of public schools. However, I'm a product of private schools. Okay. So I know the benefit of both. But let's say that we have an athlete, a student who's an excellent athlete, who excels on many athletic levels. However, that student has been classified as needing special services. How does that factor into this kind of academy, especially with it being a private academy?
We're a private, small.
Okay.
Right? So it allows us to deal with this individual with that specialized learning platform.
Okay.
Individually. So
Okay.
we have a team. We have an academic team.
Yes.
Once we get your report card, your transcript, we look at your test scores.
Okay.
We look at if you do have an art or an IEP.
Right.
We have someone who kind of goes over that to make sure that we can provide those services. So we input that information into our system to make sure we provide the quality services that the kid needs.
So there will be someone who is an accredited special education specialist, yes, who can look at that and be able to determine yes or no, we can service you in the way that you need to be serviced.
And a lot of times a lot of our parents that are in unfortunate situations haven't even been able to identify those students. So
exactly.
we take an assessment before we even, as part of our enrollment piece.
Exactly.
The assessment kind of gives us an idea to be able to identify that student and whatever needs he or she may need.
Okay. Now,
you say you only have one tough question.
No, because I'm asking the tough question. Look, you know what? Let me take a look and see if we have anybody asking questions here. Because I don't want, and guys, if the people watching, if you got questions, go ahead and type them into those comments, because we're gonna send them. They can be tough questions. It's okay.
Yes.
We're gonna let Coach Sims answer them while he's here. But another question that I wanted to ask you, when I saw that this was offered for young men, tell me, and I was looking, because I went to your Facebook page and I pulled up all of the visuals.
Right.
And I saw that there is also a sister academy. Tell me about that one.
Well, as a father of daughters,
yes,
I want to make sure that we have that component for our young ladies.
Okay.
So we're looking at doing something for our middle school girls, 6 to 8.
Okay.
Our young ladies, to
Okay.
prepare them for the high school piece.
Okay.
So it'll be a pilot program.
Okay.
And the main focus for our young ladies will be a literacy program. And
Okay.
reading is kind of something that we're struggling with in our community.
Okay.
So we want to make sure we focus on that literacy and just being able to take the young ladies beyond the point where they are and see some things that they haven't seen before.
Okay, so you're saying it's a pilot program. So with a program like that, hypothetically, in the next, will you add a grade level each year if it's successful? Is that how that's done?
When it's successful, yes.
Yes.
So you tell me you're coming from St. Agnes.
Yeah.
Similar to a St. Agnes. We were fortunate to get our accreditation, being able to have a senior class. So we wanted to kind of take it slow.
Right. And that's the way to do it.
Take it slow.
Yeah.
So with our young ladies, being able to groom them, so as we grow and matriculate through the years, we'll be able to have a growing class every year.
And will that also be something that will have an athletic piece too?
I didn't want to add the athletic piece. I really want to add golf to our young ladies.
Okay.
From a STEM standpoint.
Okay.
One of the things that we're doing with our young ladies will be a STEM program, but we want to kind of add golf to our young ladies, something different. What's hot right now is flag football for our young ladies. We're even looking at that once we get the program going. And
Okay.
some interest. Houston is a hotbed for flag football.
Yes, but Coach Sims,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
also are getting, I'm not gonna say getting, but the WNBA,
Right.
and we've got the elite soccer teams here.
We do, and that's
Yeah.
a big thing. That's why we want to go with golf. Something different.
Okay.
Something more than
So nothing's off the table.
Nothing's off the table.
Nothing's off the
There's
table.
an interest. We're going to do what we can to make sure that we provide, and it may not just be having that team in place,
Right.
but we also are able to provide that training.
Okay.
So we do have football coaches, basketball, baseball, boxing. Boxing is something that we do on our board. We have those members, former NFL, NBA,
Okay.
boxing trainers. We have a network of people that if you have an interest,
Right.
whatever interest you have, we can train you in that.
Right.
And then you can go further with it if you know.
That's awesome. Now, this is something that really stood out to me, and I'm looking at it. Go to the website. Small classes,
Yes.
real attention.
Yes.
So, on the average,
Mhm.
we're looking at trying to have how many students in a classroom?
But the classroom is not your typical ISD classroom.
Okay.
Where they have their desks and there
Okay.
are 30 students and there's a blackboard.
Right.
That's not the idea of what we're trying to do.
Okay.
You can take this room here and you could be sitting in this corner, you and I could be at
Mhm.
the table, another student may be sitting in a chair, we may have a bean bag over there. We
Mhm.
want to make it comfortable for our students to learn.
Okay.
Half the time our students now, they got the headphones on, they got the laptop in their lap, and they're in the bed. And that's how they learn,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Opposed to being in the classroom with a hoodie on their head, with their head down on the desk because they don't hear what the teacher is saying.
And hide the phone. You forgot that part.
and the phone reading.
And hide the phone. Yes.
So we want to make a conducive environment. So when we say something small, it just depends on the level of attention span that kid may have for that in-person instructor.
Okay.
Right? And then kind of make sure that student get that lesson as well.
Okay. Now, there's a similar, and I'm not going to call any names
Mhm.
because I have not spoken with this person to see if they if that was okay. But there's a similar program to this that's over is that in Manville, over on Highway 6? It's for baseball.
For baseball,
Yes.
yes,
Have you heard of that?
yes.
Okay. Is that sort of the same? But that's a charter. Is that a charter?
If we talk about the same one,
Yes.
it's
Over on Highway 6
it's
and
on-
288 kind of.
Highway 6 and
Yeah.
288.
Yeah.
It's more of a homeschool type deal.
Okay.
And a lot of these micro schools, I guess you would say,
Yes.
are popping up because people are looking for alternatives. Not everyone is happy with the ISDs. Not everyone is happy with the educational.
I know what, Coach Tim.
So
I
we
know
just
it.
want to provide
I hear you.
an option, okay, an alternative,
Yeah.
right? I am a proponent of, I'm a fan of traditional school, okay? I'll be more remorse if I didn't say that. Because
Yeah.
you're breathing hard,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting with a teacher.
And the thing about it is, and don't get me wrong, because I understand the necessity for people to be able to have choices. I don't necessarily, I'm not a proponent of having choices that will take away from financially what's going to have to educate the masses.
Right.
But
So let me help you out. You have an elite athlete. If you have an elite athlete,
yeah,
he's competing against another elite athlete, right? And
yes,
y'all competing for maybe the same scholarship.
yes,
What's going to give your son that edge, right? That more training is going to get him over that edge. Compared to you going to traditional school, getting an RP and an hour and a half of practice, compared to that kid that's in the gym 2 to 3 hours, has a specialized trainer, has a specialized strength coach, has a meal plan, playing against another elite athlete that is fighting for another scholarship as well, right? So we don't roll your eyes, don't do that.
no, I'm not. I'm just
So
thinking of
It's a competitive nature now.
we're gonna have people watching this who are saying, and that's why I keep rolling back to this piece, who are saying, we're putting so many eggs in the basket of athletics and sports and physicality.
It's not the athletics and the sports because we take into both. What we haven't talked about is what we're trying to do with our media program.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So beyond sports, your son, when you go to a basketball game, you taking your son to a basketball game. There are several people walking around with cameras taking pictures, and after the game, he's going to actually want your son's picture, right? Do you want your son's video?
Right.
The coach needs his kid's video.
Okay.
Not only that, there's stats that are being taken. Now there's the data piece to high school and college basketball. The sports marketing piece is a big game now. It's a big deal now, the data. Not only from a sports standpoint, but you even look at the esports now.
Let me try to pull this up, Coach Sims, to see if that's now they can see it on there, but it looks like your content crew. Tell us about that.
That's our content crew.
Okay, tell us about that.
Videographers.
Okay.
We've been at a sports broadcasting program.
Awesome.
Yes.
See, you see.
So
I wanted to ask the other questions, so we get to this piece. I was a broadcast journalism major, so we didn't have that kind of thing in my high school. I would have loved to have had someone training me in radio and television in high school.
If you look at it now, how many of our athletes are leaving the field, leaving the court to do podcasts?
Absolutely.
To be sports broadcasters.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
Starting at an early age.
Yeah.
And learning how to read and write.
Yes.
For the producing, not only being able to do a podcast, but who's doing the producing of music and talent shows and just those things that nature. Who's taking the pictures now?
Right.
Everybody's walking with a camera. Everybody's a photographer.
Yeah.
Capturing those moments. And
right.
Just giving those students a foundation of how to do it the right way and add an academic component behind it.
Okay. Now, tell me what we're looking at here. You've got now, guys, we're talking about something that's right around the corner.
Yes.
Okay. Opening this fall. Have you already, is enrollment still open?
Enrollment is open.
Okay.
Go to our website now and look at our information, and you can schedule a tour. You can schedule just even a conversation to get more information.
Okay.
All right. If you have any questions, we can take a look. We can take a look at your child's transcript,
okay.
card, and within a matter of moments, we can tell you what their schedule look like, their block schedule, what their day would look like, where he would be at this point in time, just from an academic standpoint, what levels he would be and what classes need to take to make sure that he's on a graduation plan.
Got you. And this is what we need to see now. That's what we were going like this. Okay, tuition.
So we look at tuition.
Tell us about this.
Tuition
includes.
It's a private school.
Correct.
Right. So we want to make sure there's some stake in the game.
Absolutely.
Understanding that we're in the times where money is short.
Right.
And we're in an economic drought. So we have scholarships available for those athletes that apply.
Okay.
For those student athletes that apply.
Okay.
For those students that apply.
Okay.
All right. So scholarships are open to everyone. $1,300 for our middle school and $1,500 for our high school students.
Okay.
Okay. That's nowhere close to what the average is
for
private schools.
Yeah.
So it's not something that we're trying to make sure that it's a money grab.
Right.
Right. So we're making it affordable.
Okay.
For our parents to make sure that once we get started, that the kids can be successful and be sustainable.
Okay. Now I'm looking here at the things that you can expect.
Right.
Leadership and character program, mastery-based promotion policy, access to college counseling resources, STEM innovation lab access, daily teacher-led instruction in all core subjects, teacher-led instruction.
In person.
So yes, there's a human in the room. The teacher's not on the monitor. There may be another teacher on the monitor, but there is someone in class for your student to be able to ask a question if your student has a question.
Right.
Now, everybody's going to want to know this. You got some great athletes. I'm going to go ahead and pull up. The high school tuition because it's a little bit different from middle school, and it's $1,500 a month. Why that small discrepancy?
Our high school is going to be involved in a little bit more, even from an athletic standpoint.
I see.
And even they have the opportunity for that dual credit. So putting some value on the education piece.
Okay.
Right. And the programs, we have a little bit more programs that require more for our high school athletes.
Okay.
And not just for our athletes, but for our high school students.
Okay.
The media broadcasting piece.
Right.
Is something that we are really diving into.
Okay.
And our character development piece as well. So the high school is just a little bit higher due to the fact that the programs are a little more rigorous than our middle school programs.
Okay. And let me go to. Well, let me pull this off of here for a second so they can see what we're talking about. Now, let me say this.
Yes, ma'am.
I am in probably, I'm going to say maybe the 5th and I'm saying that conservatively,
Mhm.
largest school district in Texas.
Right.
Okay. We have a lot of behavior issues in public schools,
Right.
period.
Right.
For a variety of reasons. Many of those behavior issues, and I'm thinking about one person in particular, and this was a female that I taught last year, who was known to be a stellar athlete in all subjects, in all disciplines. However, the behavior was such that it got this student kicked off of every team. And, sitting down, myself and the other, her actual coaches would sit down and say to her, listen, you are great, but when you, especially as you go up up through the high school years, you're going to run into a lot of other great athletes who don't have a behavior issue, who are not uncoachable. You're going to waste all this if you don't learn how to direct your emotions in a way that it's going to put you in the place where you can make the decisions and not have someone else to make the decisions for you. I can tell you right now that sometimes, every once in a while, that student is going to walk through your door.
Okay.
How do you turn away behavior issues? Do they have a chance to self-correct if you all are seeing some display? So when you look at those transcripts, when they come in there and you see that this has been an ongoing problem, as a private school, you have the right to accept or reject anyone that you want to.
Right.
Because you don't have to take behavior issues,
Right.
because there are people who don't pose a behavior problem.
Right.
So for those people out there, or those parents who know they got a student who's a great athlete, but who can't be coached,
Right.
what would you say to them right now if their student is interested in this? What kind of changes do they need to start making right now?
We have the resources. I think
Okay.
resources is where we have to identify that with the student first. What are they missing, right? And not only the resources, but social emotional learning is a huge deal within our campus, right? Not only for our students, but for our staff as well.
Okay.
Because a healthy teacher has to be able to deal with the unhealthy student.
Absolutely.
Right? So we make sure our teachers and our staff and our team, as well as our adults, are where they need to be, and with our staff, we have some not only credentialed academically, but streets of hard knocks as well. They've been in the academics.
They walk those shoes.
They walk those shoes, and they're being able to deal with those students that may be having some difficulties and some traumas. Being able to have the resources, being able to identify them first, and then figure out a solution to help that student out. Even before we even get to the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s.
Okay.
We want to make sure that the mental piece is there first.
Okay.
Because the mental aspect of what we're dealing with our teenagers now is at a high rate.
Right.
And we want to make sure we have those resources for those students to make sure they're able to function adequately in the classroom.
Okay. Now, let's say that to say the very least, 180 Degrees Academy is non-traditional.
Right.
What aspects of traditional high school and middle school, the high school and middle school experience, can a student have? Will they be able to attend dances and proms and competitions? Will the basketball team or the teams have cheerleading? What aspects of traditional will you all couple with other schools will make sure that those students can experience some of the traditional things?
I just had this conversation with my niece.
Okay.
And she's going into high school, and I was trying to persuade her to come to 180.
Yeah.
And one of the conversations we had was, are you willing to give up that traditional experience?
Right.
We want to be able to provide a traditional high school experience, but
Right.
it has to be some kind of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Because if we're doing elite academics, that means you got to get away from those students that may be a distraction.
Absolutely.
So yes, we are looking at having proms. Yes, we're looking at partnering with different other high schools and private schools to make sure that if they're having a celebration that's conducive to what we're trying to do, that we can kind of partner with those different programs.
Right.
Partner with different fraternities and sororities,
Right.
partner with different church organizations to make sure that when they're doing things and they're doing field trips, that our students can be a part of it.
Right.
So providing the traditional high school experience is something that we did have conversations with as far as our staff and our board, and we're looking to make sure that we provide a similar traditional high school experience.
And that's good. And that's good. And like you said earlier, you know, baby steps.
Yes.
So in the genesis of the school, you know, in the program, everything may not be there, but we walk into that, you know, as it goes on.
Sustainability is what is something that I'm striving for.
Right.
Not just opening the doors, but keeping the doors open.
Yes.
Right. And making sure we have programs that our students are enjoying, learning from, and being successful at.
Okay.
So sustainability is key. Not just opening up the doors and having a good time, and the kids are not learning.
Right.
Making sure that the programs are equipped to make sure our students are successful.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, because it just to me it's just a smart thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that because you came from a charter school, there are strategic partnerships
Right.
with businesses
Right.
throughout probably throughout the state, throughout the city. Will 180 Degrees Academy also have strategic partnerships?
We would have strategic partnerships. Our board,
Yes.
That's a duty for our board, and
Okay.
our board consists of shareholders and stakeholders
Okay.
that are very fluent
Yes.
in the sports world, the academic world, and also in the entertainment world.
Okay.
So we are making sure that our partners, one of the major things that we're in partnership with Houston Parks and Recreation is
Okay.
huge.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest partners that you can have here in the city. Having our dual credit programs with some of the universities, and is key as well.
I'm stopping you right there. And because you're kind of a soft talking gentleman, that's okay. Can you tell us? I know, and I said that. I said, you know what? Let me not poke the envelope. I don't want the coach voice, but but can you say again who one of your main strategic partners?
One of our main strategic partners is Houston Parks and Recreation. That's one of the main things that we talked about, having partnership and being able to be housed at the Justin Robinson Junior Community Center.
Awesome.
Was important. Being able to have everything under one roof.
Yes.
Right, not having your academics here, having to go 10 minutes up the road to train here. We wanted to make sure everything was under one roof. Not only that facility, but just the network that Houston Park and Recreation had with the police
Yes.
department, with the city of Houston.
Yes.
Those access to those companies and those networks are important.
And with you being on site at Judson Robinson, and that's a large facility.
Right.
It's a large facility. And are there classrooms?
We have the
Yes.
Judson Robinson has 3 levels, right?
Okay.
The first level is where the weight room is, and then you have the bottom level where the cafeteria and some classrooms are. Ruby stays at the third level.
I've never had a tour.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to come over there and have a tour.
Yeah.
I would love to see exactly what the facility is,
Yes.
because I've only seen that bottom part.
Yes, we have
Yes.
classrooms at the top, and also have a competitive gym. So we'll be able to have games. We'll be able to host games
Okay.
on site as well. We have classrooms that are available that we're going to use to make sure that our students are successful and provide the programs in those classrooms.
And you said, this is interesting, because I'm just doing the mental math on this. But you said when the girls academy, one thing that you all would like to segue into would be a golf program, and that's sitting on a golf course.
It's right next door. We've had
It's sitting on the course.
yes. So
Yes.
that's kind of the way we're going. Spoken with Ms. Milana over at the golf course. She does a great job. I think she has a program that caters to young ladies.
Right.
During the summertime, she does a great job with them. So we're looking at, that's kind of the strategic move that we're doing to make sure that we can go from the classroom, because we want to keep everything centrally located.
Yes.
So going from the classroom to the golf course, that's amazing.
Now I'm looking here at boxing.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I would have looked at for students, for high school and middle school students. I would have said basketball, football, baseball, maybe some track, but boxing. So are you all also partnered with boxers?
We have one of our major board members
Okay.
is a well-known boxing coach,
Awesome.
Mr. Derek James,
Okay.
out of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
He's behind this. Boxing is a passion of mine.
Yes.
I have a foundation in boxing, so
Okay.
I want to just kind of make sure. And yes, we're partnering with More Better Boxing
Okay.
to kind of partner with them to do our boxing teaching, and not boxing just from a physical standpoint. We talked about it earlier. We're not just using basketball and boxing
Right.
For cardio, right?
Okay.
We're using this boxing is one of your major sports for discipline.
Absolutely.
Boxing, the discipline,
Strategy.
yes,
Yes.
the discipline that is needed to be able to do these sports. So some of our students may be dealing with social emotional, issues, and just being able to release that tension and get away from those traumas, and to kind of help our young ladies just with self-defense. It's a good exercise,
Right.
Mentally and physically.
I'm looking at this, Coach Sims,
Go ahead.
at the day. This is what a student's day would look like at 180 Degrees Academy.
Yes, ma'am.
From 8 o'clock until 8:55, basically an hour or a 50-minute block. Basically, okay.
Similar to your high schools.
Yes. Yes. Mathematics,
Mhm.
okay. Your regular mathematics. Now, with it being a small academy, and being self-paced,
Mhm.
so if a student is a student who excels in math, then they may be able to navigate trigonometry
Mhm.
while someone else is navigating algebra.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Well, it's
How
not
is that
not
better?
self-paced. Okay.
Okay.
You may be in algebra 1.
Okay.
You may be in the 10th grade, in the 9th grade, taking
Okay.
algebra 1. I may be in
Okay.
10th grade, algebra 2. We still taking that math that day,
Got you.
right?
Got
So
you.
everyone depends on their grade level, is in that grade level class.
Okay.
And math is just that subject that we're doing that hour,
Got you.
no matter what grade you're in.
Okay.
Okay.
With one teacher.
No. With the teacher of that class. So we have an algebra teacher, trigonometry teacher. Every student has their own teacher. Every grade level has their own teacher.
So, okay. Now, see, I'm a little bit confused now. So, just explain this to me. So, let's say hypothetically, we may start out with a student body of 50.
Too many.
Okay, a student body of about how many on each grade level?
Each level, we're looking at 12 to 13.
Oh, okay. So, with that 7th grade class, there will be a teacher who is
Seventh
teaching
grade.
a general 7th grade math class, whatever
Yes.
7th grade math
Yes.
would.
Yes.
Okay, but if I have a 7th grader who can matriculate on the level of trigonometry,
Right.
would that student be allowed to,
Would that student be allowed
with
to?
testing?
And from a testing standpoint, I would have to say it depends on just where he's at. Because if he's a traditional school, I can't skip a kid from 7th grade to 8th grade, or 7th grade, 9th grade in that school season, in that school semester, correct?
Right.
He would have to go through some testing and.
Right. Okay.
So we're not just bumping kids up because they completed an lesson. We're
Okay.
going through the same thing you would do at a traditional high school. We got the test out. And
Exactly.
So
But the availability might be there.
the availability
in the future,
because
okay.
we're also looking at what they call a reclass now,
Okay.
right? Where our students are, we call it making sure that we have control of your academic clock.
Okay.
You look at some of our athletes; they're looking at reclassing. So a lot of your 8th graders are not ready to go to high school right now,
Yes, that's correct.
right?
I'm an 8th grade teacher.
So their parents are not. They're holding reclassing and having to go to 8th grade again. Well, imagine being in a 10th grade, right? So now the new NCAA rules, the kid don't want to repeat and do the same work he did last semester,
Right.
or last year.
Right.
So we have different programs set up for those students. So if he's in the 8th grade and he's already completed 8th grade, he wants to reclass, and mom wants to hold him back a year, we have that dual credit piece now.
Do you encourage that?
Do I encourage that? Every student athlete or every student has their own pace, right? And it just depends on that situation,
Yeah.
right? So encourage it. You would have to take a deep dive and a strong look at that student academic performance and his maturity aspect.
Yeah. It's a social aspect.
Yes.
It's the social aspect that's really gonna be crippling.
And here's the deal.
Yeah.
Being at a school of 500 compared to
Yeah.
school of 50 makes a difference.
Absolutely, it does. It
You may
does.
not can function in that high level classroom with a lot of things going on, a lot
Right.
of noise in the background,
Yes.
a lot of movement.
Girls.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
you may need
Yeah.
an isolated situation.
Absolutely. Or smaller, just a smaller environment. Right.
Where someone is focusing completely on him.
Right.
right, or him or her,
Exactly.
right? So do I encourage it? I would say I don't encourage, but I like to identify the needs and the needs that needs to be met to make sure that student is successful.
I'm going back to the schedule. I just want parents. I want parents just to make sure that they are comfortable knowing that all of your core subjects you're getting in, and you're getting them in at the only thing that's being adjusted here would be people's what do they call electives.
Those things are done
and
on
P-
Friday.
yeah.
And we want to kind of do those things. Make sure you have a graduation plan. Once we do our admission test, we want to make sure we have a graduation plan. So we do have a counselor to make sure that you have a career and college graduation plan. And it's
Okay.
sent to the ISD. We still have to make sure that our students graduate with those 22, 24 credits. So that doesn't change.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And that's good, because you hear you hear horror stories about, like you said, sometimes it may be more of a homeschool kind of situation where parents are very concerned as to whether or not their kids are getting what they need, or if they're going to be able to even matriculate on the same level when they graduate as someone else their age. Now we know that they've gotten the athletics, but have they gotten the academics
Yes.
and the and the rigor that is needed to for them to be able to function and to go on and be able to take an SAT or an ACT and get into college. I'm looking at what some of your families have said about 180 Degree Academy.
Okay.
And this is I'm reading this because this is after this public knowledge. This is on the website.
Yes.
Okay. Marcus's family says, my son came to 180 Degrees as a solid student who loved basketball. He's leaving as a young man who knows who he is, what he stands for, and exactly where he's going. The academics are real and the coaches are elite. This place changed our family.
So we started a pilot program.
Yeah.
With 180 Degrees, just kind of make sure during the summertime.
Yeah.
That works. So we had families come in, and kind of was the pilot program to what we were doing. So those families were pleased with it. We didn't want to just start the year off and not have a test run.
Exactly.
So we had to make sure we have a test run. So our academic team is ready for our students to be enrolled in the fall.
Okay.
To make sure that once they get their transcripts and report cards in, we get their schedule, and our teachers are ready to go.
Okay.
For August 12th.
And Dr. Latoya says this. She is a STEM and academic pathway family.
Mm-hmm.
She says the STEM program here is unlike anything I've seen at traditional schools.
Right.
My daughter built a functioning robotic system in 8th grade and presented it at a showcase.
Right.
She's now looking at engineering programs for college.
Mhm.
We couldn't be more proud.
We did a STEM program with U of H.
Yes.
And they had a program. They had a competition.
Okay.
At U of H, and with all the students in the HISD in different schools, and she was successful in her robot. So
That's awesome.
We was able to help her out, and she's looking forward to being in engineering college.
Wow.
Major in engineering college, yes.
And let me, because this is a elite sports focused academy, an academic academy, I want you to go back over what I'm looking at right here in regards to the NCAA readiness for student athletes. What all is involved in that NCAA readiness that you all focus on?
Not only are we accredited, nationally accredited, but we want to make sure that our student athletes, our courses are certified through the NCAA.
Okay.
Right. So if your student is ready once they leave high school, and the transcripts can be submitted to a U of H or TSU or Prairie View or Southern.
Okay.
They can go right into those courses and be ready for school.
And it says there are 16 required NCAA core courses.
Those are core courses that
tracked.
Yes, those are core courses. That math, that science, that English.
Okay.
And making sure we have that foreign language.
NCAA interaction logs maintained each semester, minimum of 2 teacher-student interactions per course.
Yes.
What is an interaction log?
Well, the interaction log is making sure that your transcript is in place and the grades in place.
Okay.
And that goes back to, I think you would call it seat time, making sure that the students have their seat time.
Right.
In the classroom.
Yes.
So you just can't just come to the gym and be playing basketball all day. We got to make sure we have our seat time.
Right.
Yes.
the WASC accreditation
Mhm.
recognized by the NCAA, and that is your accrediting
It's our
council.
credit, yes, our
Okay,
credit council. But it's important for us to have that. It was very, very important to make sure we had that accreditation.
okay.
Because I didn't want to be that mom and pop school that kids were just coming to. You would come and
That ends up on the news.
right. Your son would leave a St. Thomas or a Second Baptist, come to 180 degrees. You got unhappy with Coach Sims and you want to take them back and put them.
And you end up on the news.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
And that's what
Yes.
those classes that keep it
Yes.
to the semester, wait to the grade year, because
Yes.
those courses weren't accredited. So now he has to go back and retake those classes
Yeah.
based upon the infidelity of that school. So
Yes.
accreditation, being able, the accreditation was huge for me. Our academic team did a great job of making sure that we were accredited and on board, and making sure that we was all under one roof, making sure that we do everything under one roof. Those were the two major things that we wanted to make sure we checked every box. That was something special too, right?
Yes.
The accreditation, making sure we was affordable, and making sure we provided academic system that was beneficial for the student.
Coach Sims,
Yes, ma'am.
a D1 and D2 eligible pathway.
Right. So that goes back to the NCAA piece.
Okay.
So if your student may not be ready to go to U of H,
Okay.
but he maybe did that dual credit program.
Okay.
So he's also able to go to a school like a blend or an engineering.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That's from a basketball standpoint.
Okay.
He's gonna have the credits, the 22 to 24 credits,
Right.
to make sure that he's able to attend a Division I or Division II school.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure we have all those certifications. We wanted to make sure if you're a student with the Second Baptist, St. Pius, St. Agnes, that he was getting the same quality experience over at 180 degrees.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to this little piece because we're getting ready to kind of wrap it up. But you just said, I said, maybe we're looking at with this first class coming through from 6th through 12th graders.
Mhm.
We're looking at maybe a collective class of 50.
Mhm.
That's going to be small classes. So your student won't be able to get away with anything. Let me just say that. Okay. So your student is going to be getting a lot of personal attention
Yes.
with classes that are that size. Now, I don't know at this point because school is starting next week,
2 weeks,
in
yes.
2 weeks. I don't know at this point how many slots you still have to fill.
Right.
But I would suggest to a parent, if this is something that you're interested in, please, please, please go ahead and go on to the website.
Go
Is
to
there a
the website.
preliminary? What are the steps
Go
that they
to-
need to take?
Go to the website. Give us contact us on the website.
Okay.
Do an inquiry. We have
Okay.
that on the website, and we will give you a call back.
Okay,
And just to give you the information.
okay,
Then we can go into a deeper dive as far as enrollment is concerned. My biggest thing right now is letting people know what we do, how
okay,
we're doing it, and how it can be effective for your student, for your child.
okay.
Right? So yes, people have many, many questions, right? And we want to make sure that we provide you answers to those questions to make sure it's a good fit, because this is not a good fit for everyone. And
Exactly,
You're making,
yes.
you're making an investment for your son or your
Right.
daughter, and we want to make sure you're making a quality investment.
Last question. Are there any bilingual team members on staff?
We do have bilingual staff members because you have to take Spanish. So
Okay,
we have
gotcha.
Spanish speaking. So
Okay.
this is for the Black, the Brown. We open up our doors for the community
Yes,
and for the Greater Houston area.
awesome. So that's everyone. I had to ask that piece
Yes.
because you've got a lot of great athletes who don't necessarily look like you and me.
And we're not. I don't want to take it away. We're not only dealing with athletes, not only dealing with student athletes. We're going to have different programs for non-athletes.
Okay,
Right? We want to have a learning platform for those students that are just looking for an alternative to their academic situation.
and who are serious about academics.
Yes. And you're going to have that similar experience that you would have in traditional high school. Not the same, but
Right.
similar. And this is something that has taken place in California and Florida. I just seen something where schools are looking at the 4-day. Academics is trying to find just that niche to find a way to get the
Right.
attention of our students, right? And I think this is something that we're looking forward to being trendsetters just making sure that our students are successful.
Back when I was in high school, when I went to St. Agnes, we had a half a day on Friday.
Yeah.
We had a half a day on Friday, and we had a lot of autonomy with what we were able to do. And I thought I was in. Let me tell you why I think this is a really good concept, because there is a good placement for every student.
Yes.
I'll tell you why I think it's such a good concept, something like this, because we're not talking about just a small elite private school. This is micro elite. Okay, when you're talking about, I had a graduating class of 142 students. There were 142 girls in my graduating class. We thought that was small. You know,
Yeah.
that was not small in comparison to this. But my mother put me, I don't mind saying this, my mother put me at St. Agnes. My sister, she stayed in public school. She went to Jones Vanguard.
Mhm.
But my mother put me in St. Agnes because I needed some extra help in math. Okay. So I wasn't getting that in public schools. I went to St. Vincent's and then I went to St. Agnes. But she knew that she needed to put me somewhere where someone could focus on me at least a little bit of the time. And it was a good choice. It was a good choice. So if you've got a student that you know needs a little bit more attention, you have a student who is excelling in certain things, and you want to hone in on that. If it's STEM,
Yes.
academics, athletics, dual credit classes. If you've got a student that you know is a scholar who happens to be an athlete, okay, this is an option for you. These options weren't available back when I was in school. They weren't even available 10, maybe 15 years ago, except for a place like IMG, where you're paying $50,000 plus a year.
And that's something we're trying to keep our kids home.
Yes.
Programs are popping up out of the state and different states.
Yes.
So we want to be able to keep our kids home. And,
Absolutely.
Make sure that our city grows.
And Coach Sims,
Yes, ma'am.
before you leave,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like for you to let our viewers know exactly, what is your social media? How can they reach out? How can they follow you?
Well, first of all, watching the show is special. So
Yes.
Thank you once again for having me.
And it'll be repeated several times. Yes.
180 degrees, 180 degreesacademy.com is our website. We have a phone number, 832-687-3963, or you can reach us at 180 degrees adm@gmail.com for more information.
That's awesome. And if anyone would like to reach out to you or ask you questions, how would they? What is your social media?
My social media is 180 Degrees Academy.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook with that.
Okay.
And Twitter as well.
Awesome.
And also mostly all of your
Instagram.
Instagram as well.
180 degrees.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, Coach Sims, listen. I hope I didn't hit you with questions that were too hard. You knew I wasn't gonna. You knew I wasn't gonna ask you anything that you couldn't answer, but there was a lot to unpack.
Well, you did it. You do a good job, and I watch
thank you.
Yes, just tapping in and diving deep and making sure that you ask some questions that your followers and your listeners may know.
And this is something that our community, heretofore,
Yes.
our community just didn't have access to this kind of thing, while others have had access for hundreds of years for this type of thing. And that's important. And it's important for people to see a gentleman who looks like you, who looks like themselves, offering this to other people in the community.
Yes.
Okay, but I want to thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You were quite welcome for joining us, and I know that we get most of our hits after the show airs. So if people want to reach out, guys, still, if you want to go into the comments and ask questions, we'll make sure that we put all of the contact information for 180 degrees in the contact information, and any questions that you put there, we'll make sure that we get them to Coach Sims. Okay. But again, we want to thank you so much for coming out. And it was kind of hard for us to connect a little bit, but we got connected. And this is something that he even opened up some my eyes a little bit, because I thought it was purely athletics. And then when I went in and I said dual credit, I started looking at it in a completely different way. This is not just
Sports program.
yes,
It's not
yes,
AU, it's not
yes,
club. No.
yes.
Our academic team is really high on our academics and making sure that this platform
And,
is.
and this is a little caveat. And this is the kind of thing that you want to think of, parents. My next door neighbor, who was my best friend growing up, she has a son, and her son is about 6'5", okay? And he was a really, really good basketball player in high school. He was kind of shy, but she was looking for the best academic program for him, and she sent him down to Dawson High School in Pearland. Dawson High School had a plethora of great athletes. Her son didn't, and with that much competition, her son did not get a chance to develop. He did not get to play in games. You know, it was just the kind of thing that it wasn't they weren't singling him out. They just had a whole lot to choose from. And he wasn't one of the ones they could, even if his talent could have been developed more, he wasn't one of the ones they were focusing on, because you had those kids who were in AAU and every weekend they were going to a basketball tournament, and they were the ones that got the scholarships and everything. He's turned out to be very successful now, but he did not have that kind of basketball career that he would have even liked to have seen in college. He very well could have been able to go for a scholarship if he'd come from a smaller program.
And that's what we want to make sure we host. Those kids is one opportunity. Once again, we talk about opportunity and we talk about that alternative, right?
Yeah.
Not alternative from behavior standpoint, but alternative from the ISDs and the tradition.
Absolutely.
That's it. We just want to be a source that our parents can kind of look at to see if there's a student is not functioning in the traditional school.
Yeah.
Here's a different setting for you.
Very good. Well, Coach Sims, I want to thank you so much for coming out and introducing us to 180 Degrees Academy.
We look forward to having you on campus.
Yes. And I want to come there when you all get set up. I would love to see that, being a teacher, all those kind of things. And we are knowing that, and I'm going to be able to come out with a new state representative. We are knowing that our Michelle Williams out in District 127, out there in the Humble Kingwood area, is going to be our new state representative from out there.
Congratulations to her.
Yes, a preliminary congratulations. That's right. And we want to walk through schools like this because she needs to know of these different kinds of things that are options out there that aren't pulling away from public school.
And I seen an interview with her, and she's fighting for her students in that area.
Oh, is she?
And that's one of the things we want to be a space for, students that may be having those issues in the ISDs.
Yes.
Right. We don't have to fight. We don't have to have those fights.
Yes.
In the smallest secular like we have.
Absolutely.
So yes.
Absolutely. But thank you so much. Come back anytime. And the next time you come back, we want you to be able to come back with a couple of your student athletes.
Students, and some of our students to talk about our program.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And like we always say, we can do it. See you later.